pass, and Harper slipped right through the lane. Oh, nice slip pass to Gilliam for the reverse jam.
Dennis really lets it fly. It's a technical foul. He got so upset because they didn't help him on the play. Gilliam fires it on down on a back door. Rodman with the technical. He just slammed that ball in, was very upset with the defense behind him.
Phil Jackson, a rather stoic look. Take a look at it again, Red.
There it is. He's waiting, looking for some help on the other side. Look at it, another red shirt there. Dennis just fires it down on the floor.
So Dennis Rodman cools off a bit while Chris Childs steps to the line. New Jersey with 3 points on that possession, and now the Bulls get it back. A minute 45 to go in the first quarter, tied at 24. Childs jumped at by Kerr. Sean Bradley goes to work over Luke Longley. Mahorn the rebound, and a foul coming up. I believe it's either Jordan. No, it's going to be on Rodman. They were sandwiching it. Jordan and Rodman picks up his first. That's the first for the Bulls in the last 2 minutes, so a non-shooting affair.
Dennis got a technical foul. He's out of here. Dennis is out of the game.
You recall he had a technical foul early in this first quarter for throwing the basketball on the floor. And now Ted Bernhardt is throwing him out of the game.
Yeah, he adjusting his jersey, and that was just Bernhardt just looked over and said, "You're gone. You're out of here." So in the first quarter, 1:31 left to play. Dennis is out of the game with 4 rebounds, 10 minutes he's played, and now he's going to try to plead his case. And
Ted Bernhardt, it looked like he headbutted him.
If he did, I don't know if he just was trying to make his point, and they're trying to grab him, and now he throws his jersey back on the court, very upset, will not leave.
Well, Dennis better get moving, or there will be more repercussions.
It was water or something went flying.
Dennis Rodman extremely
well. Now the shorthanded
upset.
Bulls are in a little deeper trouble here. Phil shaking his head, saying, "Well, they don't know if that was." He always said Phil always said it's entertaining when he's on the court. But now he wipes his brow and see what he'll have to come up with.
You know why Phil was laughing in that situation? Jason Williams was yelling down to the Bulls bench and said, "Look, you could have had me. I'm still in the game." And he was bringing up that point of quarter. This is what happened. He's already been thrown out of the game with a second technical foul. There is what really might cost Dennis Rodman and the Chicago Bulls. It appeared that he headbutted Ted Bernhardt, the official who made the call.
At the half. You know by now Dennis Rodman has been suspended for 6 games and fined $20,000 for headbutting referee Ted Bernhardt. It'll cost Rodman more than $200,000 in lost salary and fines. Phil Jackson knows Dennis has to learn to control those emotions.
When he's on the court, Dennis registers emotion, and he plays with a great deal of emotion. And sometimes I think it's unwarranted and over-scrutinized, and I think his play is. And what he has to do is accept the fact that he draws attention to himself, and by so doing, has to be able to control that behavior.
Pippen with the Bulls trailing by 2. Jordan on the feed. How pretty was that? Pippen to Jordan. 2 MVP candidates, and now Rodman going at it underneath with Frank Burkowski. And see if a double foul has been called. We'll wait. Technical foul on Burkowski. Remember, we told you in their first meeting, Burkowski throwing body.
Jordan, who scores it. Burkowski goes to take the ball out.
I didn't see anything after that layup with Rodman and Burkowski, but something must have happened as Jordan hits the tee.
Good example. Burkowski kind of elbows him up, and he kind of pulls him into him right there. So Dennis leans into him. Dennis knows not to raise his fist or anything, and he gets the technical.
Burkowski says, "You're a blonde. How can I become a blonde?" For 7 tonight from downtown. 27 points for Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman.
The Bulls personal foul. Dennis Rodman, his fourth
personal foul.
Very upset at the play because he thought he had great position. And he's going to argue with Ron Alesiak and say, hey, I was clean on that one.
He argued too much. Technical foul called against Rodman.
Here's working. He's got his forearm up under Kemp's arm. That's probably where the call was made, although the official was on the outside.
I think it's the first time this year that Dennis Rodman, and now he's going restrained by Longley.
Somebody better get out.
The Bulls have not seen Dennis Rodman like this since he's joined the club. He is kind of, well, he has fit in with the team, but he's kept some of his antics under wraps. Not so tonight.
Well, he's a fiery competitor. He did not like the call.
He threw his uniform shirt into the stands and runs out of the United Center to the cheers of the crowds. He always leaves the crowd with his uniform shirt, but never when he's as angry as he is now.
That gets expensive, I have a feeling.
Michael Jordan. Back it goes to Scottie Pippen, and we're tied at 6. Technical foul, Dennis Rodman. He was ejected on January 10th in a game against Seattle. Fined $5,000 for that when he took his jersey off and heaved it into the stands. That's his only ejection so far this year.
I didn't see what Dennis did.
He said something. Oakley hits the free throw. His number of technicals this season since he joined Chicago has gone down from previous years. That's the 11th of the season on Rodman.
It's still early, Vern. Still early in the year.
And in the game. He's still shaking his head. Watch Rodman under the basket.
Yeah, the officials, like we said, they're just trying to clean it up. They don't want to make sure. They want to make sure nothing breaks out early in this game.
8 offensive boards now. And a foul underneath is going to be called on Oakley.
Well, a foul is better than giving them the offensive rebounds, because the first few, they're just not boxing out. It takes everybody to box out, not just 1 or 2 guys.
Rodman will shoot. This is one of the weaker aspects of his game. 53% free throw shooter. Somehow I don't think he spends a lot of time on it. Rodman got the ejection, or rather the technical early. There's how things have improved in a temperamental way for Dennis Rodman. 35 technicals and 5 ejections in 93-94.
Well, I think there's a few reasons for that. First of all, he's got a lot of respect for Michael and Scotty. And second of all, he's a free agent at the end of the year.
That may be the biggest reason. Now Pippen drifts over to Charles Oakley. Patrick Ewing. Harper saves it. Puts it up. Little runner. Air ball. Knocks Rodman into the photographer's row.
Well, Harper's really struggled with his offensive game. And New York does such a good job of rotating on defense. They're double teaming the low post, and yet they're still able to force New York into a lot of rush shots and a lot of turnovers with their rotation. Yes, he's not a good perimeter shooter, and that's the one aspect of his game. I know that he's been talking to the New York media that he wants more field goal attempts.
Mason.
Well, Mason can't defend Michael. He's just not quick enough to defend Michael out on the perimeter.
There's Rodman and Oakley.
Well, Dennis is always trying to start something, isn't he? Trying to take your mind off the game. He does a good job of that.
Out of the mid-20s.
Right. Well, you know, one thing that the New York Knicks want him to do is bring his...
Charles Smith. Foul is called out on the point. And Ewing, after a very brief rest.
Give most of the credit to the Bulls' pressure defense.
Longley for Rodman. Houston.
And Dennis Rodman very upset with Allen Houston there. He thought that Houston tried to whack him across the face, which he did, to stop that layup.
Thank you, Bob. Dennis Rodman about to go to the foul line as he took that hit from Allen Houston. Now, to this point, it has certainly worked out extremely well for Dennis Rodman with the Bulls in Chicago. We asked the difference that he has found between playing for San Antonio and Chicago.
In San Antonio, the situation wasn't, right for the Spurs. And in Chicago, you got a big attraction with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. And what I do is totally, just minimal. So it hasn't been any different than last year. It's just that Bob here and Popovich made a big deal out of that Dennis Rodman is like the outcast. He's doing this, doing that. But when I do something in the game in Chicago, Phil just sits over there and laughs because he knows that it's just nothing but a little show.
Marv, so nice of you to lend Dennis your hat for that interview. The platinum blonde was messing with the lights.
Well, he said he was cold. Dennis Rodman, who feels that Phil Jackson has had just the right approach as he sits back with a grin.
Bulls by 13. Bucks are hanging in there.
Offensive foul on Dennis. He trying to get out of the way. Now he kicks him. A big dog kick. But it was Keys.
It was Keys and
technical on Rodman now. Foul and a technical on Rodman. Commits the offensive foul down on the end. Then they call it.
Let's take a look at this again, right? Rodman setting the screen. And Randolph Keys, and then Robinson puts in on the free throw. He has 19 points. I guess they didn't like the way Dennis disengaged from that situation.
It's down here to